All right, here's your video for how to get your washer set created for Tinkercad so you can get your orthographic sketches set and you have an example using CAD software that you could give to someone to make your washer set. So again, I have this open like we normally are with materials so you can see what we're going to be using and what we have to create. So let's get into it. Let's go ahead and jump onto Tinkercad. Oh, one thing I do want to notice is remember our boards, which we already talked about in class, is 10.5 inches by 10.5 inches. So I'm going to create a space that's a little bigger than that. So let's go ahead and go up here to new and then 3D design. Very good. And then now that we're here, let's first go and change the name to washer set and then put your last name. I'll move me up a little bit here and we're going to go to our settings. So it should be at inches. And then the presets, we're going to do a custom. Actually, you don't have to click custom. We can just change it here. So we're going to do 12, tab 12. Make that our default. So there's our workspace. It should be bigger than what we need. So we're only going to make one washer board game piece. You know there's two. So you just copy and paste it to make the final piece. But let's go ahead and get started. So all the plywood that we're using for this project, or the wood we're using for this project, if we run out of plywood, we can make other things. It's going to be a 1/2 inch thick. That's important to remember. So let's start with the base. Let's bring out a cube. What color we want to make it this time? Let's make it blue. I'm going to go with some brewer colors. Yeah, there we go, brewers. So let's go with a blue. Interesting blue color. Good. So remember our base is going to be 10.5 by 10.5. So 10.5, tab, 10.5, enter. And the height is going to be 0.5. There we go. So that's our base piece. Sweet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work our way out. So in the center of our washer set is going to be our cylinder, okay, which is going to be a PVC pipe. So I'm going to move this out of the way for now. So let's go ahead and make our PVC pipe. Okay, so our PVC pipe is 3 inches in diameter. That's at the center of the PVC pipe. The pipe itself is about 1/4 inch thick. So 1/4 inch on both sides would make it out to a 1/2 inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to change our dimensions here for this cylinder to be started at 3.5, tab 3.5. The cylinders themselves are going to be 3 inches tall. So let's go ahead and set that at 3 inches. That's what it will look like when we cut them on the miter saw before you glue them down and all that stuff. So I'm going to give this a color that's closer to white because that's the color that they're going to be, the PVC. So what we need to do though is we need to make a hole in this. So we're going to bring out another cylinder. And this cylinder we're going to set at 3 inches by 3 inches. So 3, tab 3, enter. And then for this one, we're just going to make it a little taller than the one we already have because it's going to cut it out. We want it to be wider so we can, or taller so we can see where it is. Let's align these two pieces. So let's highlight these two and click L. Let's get them aligned center and center. Okay, there we go. So now we just highlight the two and we group them. And there we go. We got our PVC pipe. Now the PVC pipe is going to go onto the wood. So all we have to do now is lift this up. We're going to lift it up, remember, a 1/2 inch because that's how thick the wood is. Right now our snap grid's at 1/8 of an inch, so we're going to have to move it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now that we got that elevated, we're going to highlight the two things and click L to align. Again, we want it all centered. So center, center, and there we go. It sits right on top. Sweet. That was pretty easy. Now to make sure it doesn't move around on us as we get separated all, we're going to put these two together. We're going to group it. And again, click solid, move my head, go to multicolor, and there we go. So the only thing left now are the sides. So with our set, we know we're going to have 2 3 1/4 inch tall pieces by 10.5 and 2 3 1/4 inch pieces by 9.5. Okay, because 2 of them are going to fit right on flush, and then 2 will go on the side. So let's go ahead and bring out 2. Let's do the 10.5 length ones. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to change this to 10.5 long. Thickness of our wood is 0.5 again. And the height of this is going to be, we said 3.25, so 3.25. Okay, there's our height of our side. Now the sides, I'm going to make those all yellow because again, we want the brewer colors. Woo. All right. So we have one of these. We have to make sure that it's raised up because they're all going to go on top of the base. So let's move it up a half inch. Now that we got it moved up a half inch, now we can make two copies. Control C, Control V, and we'll just drag that over to the other side. So one of these will line up in the corner over here. And again, just kind of move it around. That one looks good. And then this one, we can use the arrows to line up in the corner as well. That looks good. Okay, so before we move on, let's just group this together so it doesn't fall apart. And now the next ones, we're not going to do 10.5 again because they're going to be too long. So these we're going to do at 9.5 because how do we get an extra inch taken off? This is a half inch thick. This is a half inch thick. We know two halves make a whole. So let's make this one 9.5 tab. So you can see this is going to be a half inch. And again, 3.25 tall. So 3.25. There we go. Raise it up 1/2 inch and make sure these are yellow so they match. And then we can use our arrows to slide that wood just in perfectly. Oh, it's overlapping a little bit, which wouldn't work in the real world, but now it will. There we go. Now we got it. So that's in the right spot. And now we can just copy and paste and put that in the right spot. We can come around to the side and see how it's looking. Look at that. I got it right on shot. Right, one shot. That's awesome. All right, so highlight everything. I'll do Control A and group one more time. And if we fit this, we can see we got our one perfect box. So this is all you need for your pictures. You can do your top view from this one. You can do your front view, your right view, and your ISO. If you really wanted to show both boxes, slide that over a little bit. Control C, Control V. Other box there. And then from here, then you can highlight them both and fit them. And again, you can start with your top, your front, your right, and your ISO showing both of them. That's it. So if you got any questions, see one of us. Once this is done, then we can get you over in the shop, get you working so you can start making your fun games. So you can take them tailgating to a brewer game and have fun playing them. Okay, if you got any questions, see myself, see Mr. Harris, and we'll help you get this all completed.